I do. You do. Are you impressed? Yeah, I'm impressed. So when she was talking about the Council on Aging, I'm always so proud of my mother because my 90-year-old mother, who is in great shape, is the Council on Aging chairperson in Foxborough. And she was the first person. She said, Cathy, so the director there is named Mark. And she said, Cathy, would you ever think of doing a mediumship set? I'm like, of course, So pre-COVID, we did a session and then we booked another one. And then, of course, we had to, so that one I did just a couple weeks ago. The next thing I know, Franklin, because someone who worked at Foxborough moved over to the Franklin one, so I'm going to do Franklin in the spring. And then the next thing I know, Wesley, and then, Milton is next. So anyway, it's a pleasure. Show of hands, who has never, ever done anything like this before? Oh my gosh, this is brilliant. Okay, so there's a lot of newbies here. So show me my experienced people. Okay, fantastic, beautiful. So what we're doing tonight is called mediumship. And just like anything, this thing is called a chair. This is called a microphone. It's just a name, right? It's a name. But actually what it is it's a process. Every single person who's in this room has their innate intelligence, their intuition. We can even go into their psychicness, we'll use that word. And everybody in this room, whether you believe it or not, or own it or not, you have had a mediumship experience. You've either had someone who you love die, and you sense them around you, or you're driving in your car and you're thinking about them, and my word, their favorite song comes on the radio. Or you dreamt of them, and you could tell me the dream days, weeks, and months later. When my father passed, it was about 12 years ago, a couple of weeks or so after he died, unfortunately, he had a fall, and a couple weeks after he passed, he came in this dream to me, and he showed me that he was in a rehab clinic. And I joke because, of course, he had a private room, and he walked me down the hallway in the dream, and I saw some other people in the clinic, and he was showing me that he felt a lot better, but he was in rehab, so to speak. Not this kind, you know what I mean. And he showed me himself. He died at 79, but he appeared in this dream about 49, 50, full, dark, head of hair. And they like to do that because they like us to know that they are still alive, even though they're not physical. But what we connect with, because my father asked to be cremated, so he does not have that physical body and spirit, because he's in my mother's den in a box, and she likes having him there. So this is my sister who comes with me to help me pack the mic and stuff, and she says to my mother, and when you go, Mom, you're both going in the big box in the ground, None of us need your ashes hanging around, So what ends up happening is that he has to show me, as your beauties in spirit will have to show me, things that you would recognize. Otherwise, this would be physics. And I might come to you and say, 27,000 microhertz, dialed to 7.2. Oh, and you'd be like, oh my God, Wellesley Free Library, what did you bring her here for, Or it would be like, all vibrations. So they have to come to us so that you would recognize them. What does it mean? They have to prove it to you. And what you don't know about me is that for 27 years, I practiced as a chiropractic physician. And the reason I tell you that is because I love science, love it. So I like to use science as a language to explain things. So where are we when we die? Here's my very scientific answer to that. We're somewhere, because guess what? Nobody knows. Hey, that's a good cue. Turn your phones just onto vibrate or silence if you don't mind, Then if they ring, we'll know. It's something very supernatural. I'm telling you, some of the experiences, I could just tell you stories all night and you'd be happy. So the idea here is that nobody knows. I do not care how good of a medium I am or somebody else. We don't know. We don't. We have ideas and we have had experiences, and so many people before us have had experiences, and people are going to after us have experiences. So then we start doing what we do with anything. We start hearing things, thinking things, oh, this feels like it could be true, and then we create for ourselves the belief, right? Any belief that we have is like that. But in science, we could say there's this thing called gravity. You'd all agree with me, right? That exists. But you would also agree with me that gravity existed before we knew it existed, right? We didn't get proven that gravity, it existed. And so we then understood it. So this stuff that we're doing tonight, we don't understand all of it. But we could put a brain cap on my head tonight and you'd see the part of my brain that's lighting up to make the connections for you. You could stick me in the MRI tube. That's what Kara said. Next time I come, they'll have an MRI tube in here. And you would be able to see, the difference in the brain. It's the same part of the brain if they put a religious sister, a nun, into the tube and she would pray. It's the same part if you put a Buddhist monk and they would meditate. The same part lights up. So we kind of have this idea. Anyway, the idea is that no one has died, stayed in spirit for a couple of years or 5, and then come back and said, hey, this is what it's all about. This is what we do. So we develop these thoughts and ideas and these beliefs. What I believe is that the consciousness of us, or the essence that's us, continues. We all in this room, whether you remember it or not, we all learned in basic science, you can't destroy energy and you can't create it. You can transform it. And we are nothing but a big, beautiful blob of energy. We're chemical energy, we're neurological energy, we're muscular energy. There's all kinds of stuff. Like you could just take 2 cells and click them together and make energy. So we have to transform into something if we agree with all of the physics and the science that we have really come to understand. So when we pass, we want to stay as this collective, I think, because while we're in spirit, we still continue to develop and evolve. Maybe I would say as a soul, but I'm not sure because I haven't been there in a while. And I'm happy to be there, but not yet. So the idea of it is that when our lovies, okay, I do call them the dead peeps, but with good humor. So when our dead peeps connect with us, they're going to use things that you'll remember and that you'll understand, but they also might make you think and feel physical things. Heat. So I joke and say, that's no hot flash you're having, that's your dead dad. Heat, warmth, because they're vibration, they come close to you. Vibration and motion causes some temperature change. Anxiety or like an unsettled feeling. So this afternoon about 4 o'clock, I was doing a little meditation, preparing for tonight, and I started getting anxiety. And I'm like, oh, please, don't come to me yet. It's 2 or 3 more hours, stand back. The anxiety is because we're not used to that energy. We're not used to feeling. We're used to feeling our friends. But even in this room tonight, you might have walked by somebody and gone, ooh, I want to sit next to them. Or you might have walked by somebody and said, I'm going to the other side of the room. So imagine if it's the lovies that you know and people that you know. So we can't guarantee who's coming in here tonight, and I am going to do my very best. I'm going to help you understand what's happening and who's connecting with you, but I don't know you, and I don't know them. So you have to help me. And so, for example, if I come to you, I'll say, so I have this gentleman here, and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, oh my God, yes, I know who it is. Now, I might already know, or I might say, I have all this information. Who is it? Once I know that we're linked, I'm probably going to ask you to come up here and sit up front with us, because then everybody can enjoy it. And what I usually say is, I was a chiropractor for 27 years, and I'm no longer, so if you're craning your neck, I can't help you. So I'd rather bring you up front and let everybody enjoy it. When people have a group like this, what happens as well is you can have goosebumps. I get tons of goosebumps. And you can even feel a little queasy, bathroom, is that way? No, not that bad. How should you respond when I come to you? Don't give me the whole enchilada, but don't resist my charms either. So, like if I'm saying to you, oh, I have this man here, and I go through 5 different things, and we think we know who it is, I want you to say, yes, I do understand that. I don't want, if I say I have a man here, I don't want you to say, oh my God, that's my father, he died 7 years ago, and he loved ping pong. We want him, to tell us the stuff. And the other part of it is, don't be a sourpuss, because if I'm giving you info and you're just sitting there like this, my Cathy brain engages, and my Cathy brain says, uh-oh, they're not enjoying the experience, So what you want is you want my right side of the brain to just stay wide open and receive. You're going to see how it goes. It's going to be lovely. Now, I probably haven't told you everything. There's 2 more things. Don't make anything fit. So let's say I'm with you, and I'm going, and you're like, oh my God, Kara, why'd you bring her here? She's not a very good medium. She's not going to. But you're saying, oh, I know who it is. You have to help a girl out, okay? And raise your hand and say, I think you're with me. But this is the part where I always say, but don't steal anybody's dead people, because that's not very polite. But it happens. It definitely happens. So it might be that you have some big similarities to her. We were in the Cumberland, Rhode Island library. There were 200 people in the room, and I had a gentleman from Spirit, and he showed me his name was R.O., and I understood it was Robert, because in my head he flashed a picture of my dad, whose name is Robert. So I said to this woman, I have this gentleman named Robert, and she shook her head, and then I gave her some information, and she's like, yeah, and then I said, and he's missing a toe, and it happened in an accident, and she's like, yeah, and then I started saying a few more things, and she's like, no, the lady right behind her says, I said, you have a brother named Robert who's missing a toe by an accident? She said, I do. Now, I thought I was being funny, and I said to the 200 people, how many people in this room, and believe it or not, she, and she, 3 in a row. I don't know how this happens. Like, I wish I knew, because I love knowing things, that scientific part of my brain. So I say don't steal anybody's dead people, because I certainly usually know who I'm with, but sometimes I might be right here, and you'll see how it goes. So what I want to do right now, we're going to all get onto the same wavelength by listening to this one beautiful song. Every person in this room knows this song, has heard it 1,000,000 times, and has heard different renditions of it. This happens to be my favorite. And the reason I play it is so we can all get on the same vibe, and then it gives me a moment to lock and load, It's kind of like me saying, okay, now you can come in and use me. But it's not going to be like I'm going to jump up and down, turn around, and spit out of my mouth or something. It's just going to be me, but it just lets me sort of get into that channel of energy. So I'm going to turn on my speaker, and then, can everybody hear okay with this microphone? Okay. I guess, I don't know what this one is for, but I like this too. A little bit louder now? Okay. All right, here comes the music. And I am going to ask you and invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to do that while we listen to this together. Here we go. Just take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And just release it.
That I heard of once in a lullaby song, where over the rainbow skies dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. Where troubles melt like lemon drops, away above the chimney tops, that's where you'll skies are blue, dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. If happy little lovers fly above the rainbow, oh,
Isn't that a beautiful rendition? That's Eva Cassidy, and she is actually in spirit. And when she passed, she has quite a few albums. When she passed, her parents actually brought her music to the forefront. So I'm over here in this section, okay? And so I'm not quite sure who I'm with yet, but let's see what's going on. So, yes, just tap her on the arm. That's good, okay. And so, it's all right, it's okay, you're fine, you're totally fine. She was really into the song. So what I have here is I have a gentleman. Now this gentleman is showing me the number 2, okay? So are you 3 together? Do you know you're separate? Okay, are you 3 separate people? Okay, so think about you guys and the people in the back row there. So as a gentleman, he's showing me the number 2. Now when we get the numbers, it could be first a month. So maybe he's trying to show me something about the month of February. Maybe he died in February, or maybe he was born in February. But it doesn't mean that it has to be February. We'll see. You'll see how it goes. We're going to get some letters, but we'll get some names as the night gets going. But he's giving me the letter J, and so I'm wondering if his name could be James, Jim, or Jimmy. Now, spirit talks about themselves. They have to, so we know who they are. But they'll talk about people they're hanging out with in spirit, and they also talk about people who are here in the room or like the friends and family around you. I do believe he died from something to the chest because he has me put my hand here, and it gives me a real sort of tight feeling. I can't tell if it's his cardiac or if it's his lungs at this point. And then also, there's something about maybe there's a dog who still is alive now, or there could be a dog that he's trying to tell us is with him in spirit, okay? Anybody here understand what I'm talking about yet? And if you have a little feeling in your belly, what are you thinking? Yep, you. Tell me what you know. Do you know the gentleman who died of it's either the lungs or the heart? Okay, so 2 is, okay, and your dog passed as well. Okay, so we don't know the 2 yet because the end of January would still be 1, but we have the February. Now, I'm not saying it's not you, and he died and then your dog passed after that? Okay, so that's so interesting to me because we love our companions and such. Do you understand either to his name or right around him, either deceased or, in a body, the letter J? Yeah, one of your sons. Okay, the middle name of your son is a J name. Okay, and would he have been named after somebody above you guys? So like my brother is named after my dad, that kind of a thing. Is the J name? Okay, so we'll just hold that over there. So that's the J. Okay. We're going to get a couple more things. Do you understand the chest with him? Okay, gotcha. So who are you here with? Okay, your sister-in-law. Yeah. Your friend? Yep. Okay, gotcha. And then you. Okay. Okay. So it's the 4 babes. Okay. Oh, 5. 6? Okay, so Susan, I think we'll have the microphone over here to get you all to come up. Do you want to come up with one of your friends, or do you want to sit right there? Okay, you're fine. You're okay. Yeah, come up here. Pick one or two of your friends and come up here, because then that way people can hear you better and such. All right, come up front. Let's clap for her. Give her strength to come to the front. Come on. And you know what? Also, you are taking. Come on now. Come on. Yes, your friend with the glasses. Up you come. Okay. You're taking a big blast of energy because you're going first tonight, okay? You're going first. So thank you for that. Come on up. Just sit right here, and I'll sit over here. And Susan, just one of you hold the microphone.
Just put it right here.
Yeah, sit over there so you can sit
Everyone else, everybody can
Yeah,
hear.
do a lollipop, okay?
Down there, then.
Yeah, if you keep it down here, nobody will hear you. So keep it up here like this. Okay. So what we do is we have the gentleman who's in spirit. He died through the chest, cardiac or heart. Also, shortly after he passed,
It was more lungs.
more lungs, that's okay. So I couldn't tell if it was cardiac or chest, because it's in the same place, but sometimes I'll get the breathing. Now, also then, the breathing. Then his dog passed shortly after him as well.
My dog.
Okay, your dog,
Who
okay.
he loved dearly.
Now we're going to do the number 2 again. So 2 could be February, but let's see, we're not making it
Well,
fit. Go
Can I
ahead.
say something?
Yes, you can.
February is my son's birthday month, whose middle name begins with J.
Okay, got you. So that could be it. But I usually get a little buzzy feeling, and I'm like, that could be it. I think it's something else, okay? So now we don't guess, but I get these pieces of information. It's like a puzzle piece, and then you have to put them together. So has he been passed for 2 years? 2 months, so we're looking for where else the 2 could fit. And you're not a February baby, because you would have already told me that. Can you think of him just for a moment and see if you can find the 2, but don't make it fit? And if you can't, it's okay to say no to me. Then when she goes and sits down, she'll go, oh my God, I just remembered what the 2 was, and that's okay. So right now you don't have it. That's okay.
He was born, his birthday's the 24th.
Okay.
I think I'm fine
Yep,
for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because there are 31 days that you could give me the number of a month, but I say there's only 12 of the years. It makes it more precise. Okay. The other thing is there's something about a vehicle, so I usually say car. There's a vehicle, so maybe he liked the cars or he had a special one. Okay. Hold it. If she doesn't want to hold the mic, just hold it right up.
Oh,
to
I'm
her.
sorry.
Okay, hold it right up. So what did you say about him in the cars?
Oh, he was A mechanic,
Okay.
absolutely loved vehicles, engines, motors, machines,
Okay.
bulldozers, D8s, you name it.
Okay,
He
so he loved
loved
all
it.
the mechanical stuff and he loves vehicles. But first I said vehicles and then I said cars too. So vehicles would include all these other things, not just that he loves just cars as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. So 7 is the month of July. So do we have a special 7 connection with him?
When my mom passed in
Yep.
March, I
Yep.
was pregnant with my second son,
Okay,
and he was born in
and
July.
he was born in July. So when you're
And he was devastated when she
Okay.
passed.
So when your
He
mother passed, you had your second son who was born in July, and he was devastated when she passed. Is that what you're saying? Okay, gotcha. All right, gotcha. So then there could be somewhat of a special connection, with the two of them, so there might be him being brought up, Now, if you said
You mean my son?
yes,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
He's dreamt about him many times.
Okay, so he's come in dreams. I gotcha. So
Mhm.
is this going to be dad to you and grandfather to your son? Who are we speaking about here?
Dad to me.
Yeah, dad to you,
and
grandfather.
Nano to my son.
Okay, uncle to your son?
No, Nano.
Oh,
Grandfather.
No. Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Italian.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Because we have a nonna, but we didn't know our nonna because he died before we were very young. Anyway, okay. So Italiano.
Same
So
thing.
what we have here is your father who died from the lungs, who was talking about his, now don't say anything to the other grandchildren, but like maybe the favorite grandchild that was born in July, and also, I forget what else we said, but we said something. Oh, the car, the vehicles, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, there's two more things. One is I'm sort of like at the kitchen table right now, and I'm going to eat a lot, but I'm not going to shove it in my face quickly, and you're not going to know how much I'm eating because I'm just going to continue to eat, okay? Does this sound like Nanu as well?
He came over multiple times a week to have dinner with us after
Okay.
my mom passed.
He came over multiple times a week to have dinner with you after your mama passed. Gotcha. Because that's his bride. That's his wife, who,
Oh,
of course,
yeah.
he is with now.
She passed young.
Yeah, she passed a lot younger than him.
Mhm.
Does he have something, or he's showing me to talk about the feet. So does he have a foot, does mom have a foot issue?
Yes,
Okay, so that's mom and dad, or one? Which one? Both.
definitely my mom.
Okay, gotcha. Now, the foot might have caused her, or the feet, to not do certain things, which he would
Absolutely.
want you to know that she's doing that,
Uh-huh.
okay? And especially because they're together. So then your dog died, not his dog, your dog, okay? Gotcha, okay. Now, see, she's not crying because I'm saying these things. She's feeling it.
I am.
She's feeling it. And so I have the chills over here, and I have probably not goosebumps, but I've got my hair standing on the edge, and you've got like the woohoo, and all that kind of stuff. Do you know Nona?
So, oh yeah,
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
she know.
Yeah, both of them.
His
all
wife
of
too,
them, A,
yeah.
B, C, D, F, G.
So what is she doing?
Okay,
Do you
well,
know?
let me figure it out. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Something.
I can
She's
guess.
somewhere doing something.
Wow.
Okay, so
Pretty cool.
let me ask you a couple things.
Sure.
Who also would be the large letter S?
My name is Susanna.
You're Susanna. Okay, gotcha. So you said to me, what is she doing? And then all of a sudden I get the large letter S. So this is what I would say. She's saying what?
Is she singing?
Tell me. Did she sing that to you?
She's saying what?
What I'm saying to you is, you said to me, what is she doing? And then what she's doing to me is she's giving you, well, she gave me the S. She didn't give me your whole name. She's giving, so it's like, what is she doing? She's giving me your name. Like, you want to know, is she ironing? Is she baking? Is she like playing ball or whatever, But I think the whole idea would be that you're the S name, but if she sang to you the S song, then this is what she's trying to say. That's what I'm doing. But also, there's a bowl, and my grandfather, who I didn't know, Nonu, he was a pastry chef. So she's showing me a big bowl, and I don't know if there's dough. I'm not sure. Do you understand that as well? Okay, gotcha. So what is in that bowl? Put that right up to your mouth. Everything.
She was a great cook.
Okay. Yeah. What is it?
Gnocchi.
Gnocchi?
Gnocco.
Gnocco. So it's kind of like it's pasta, it's pasta. Okay, so here's the thing. Two things. One, your mother and father would really want you to know that they're together. But you see, you already know that. And so they're like, well, we're not going to waste our time telling her that, but yet they do, right? The real thing they want to tell you is that there's somebody in the extended family who's having an issue, and I think it's medical, and they can't like heal them or cure them, but they can say, oh my gosh, we see that happening. We want to like put a blessing on them. And I don't know who it is. I think you might have an inkling of who it is, but they just need you to understand that they see things. They see things. They're aware of things. So like it would almost be like, oh, we're so sorry, that that's happening kind of thing. Okay. And is somebody smoking cigarettes now?
Not to my knowledge.
Is somebody smoking something else? Okay. Did somebody smoke around your father and your mother?
Sure.
Okay. Because that day and age is the kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a guy, and he's the big smoker. So see how I still have my fingers up, right? And I even think he might have had stains on his fingers because maybe when he first started to smoke, they didn't have filters on it or something. And so he's just kind of going like this, and he has a little bit of shakiness too. So who am I talking about now? I don't have him to speak directly to me, but your dad's talking about him. Could be a good family friend. It could be the old neighbor. It could be like a brother-in-law or something. Do you know who I'm talking about?
That's my sister-in-law.
Oh, which one?
Maybe she knows
Okay.
Charlene.
So do you know who that they're talking about there?
Louis or no?
Did he smoke a lot?
I mean, kind of back then, a lot of them did, but I was.
Gotcha. But my father smoked too, and my uncle smoked. I get it. I totally get it. Okay, but I want you to remember that he showed you that because he wanted you to know that that person is there with them. Okay, like they enjoy him. They enjoy him quite a bit. But he had a little tremor or a little shake too. They were showing me. Okay, the big part of them coming through tonight is that they visit with you and you know them. You don't need this lady to tell you.
So they told you that they do visit
They
me.
tell me that we visit with her,
Yeah,
so
they
she
do.
doesn't need you. But it's good to hear it from somebody who doesn't know you because sometimes you think, oh, did that just really happen? And your family will believe you. I believe you, and they want to make sure that you believe you.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, and so they'll continue, to do that. But this is kind of fun, And then of course the big thing is like just the big love, like big love. And sometimes when you think about, so you lost your dog after your father died. Do you have a new one?
No.
Are you getting a new one?
Mixed reviews.
Yeah, okay. So if you
I
don't
don't
want
think
one,
so.
okay, if you don't want one, your dad is saying, be very careful, because one can come to you and you're like, oh, So if you don't want one, it's the same when they say, if you don't want a baby, be very careful, If you don't want a dog, be very careful. Somebody may going to approach you and say, do you want this dog? Will you take this dog? So have your strength there. It's really about for them loving you and loving you and loving you and loving you. Important that your father steps forward. Your mom has been there for a long time. Doesn't mean she's not talking to you. It means that he's representing for the both of them. Okay. So Dad's first name is what?
Ernie.
Ernie. And what
Ernest.
is Mom's first name?
Maria.
Maria. All right. Let's just clap for the two of them. Okay. That's awesome. So everybody clap for Ernie and Maria. Thank you. First. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for coming up here with her. All right, let me take that from you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit how it goes, and it takes a minute to click in. One time, I was at I teach some workshops, and so I brought some students to see another medium. I'm like, you got to see somebody else, not just me. And the medium starts talking about this guy with a cowboy hat and he smokes cigarettes, and I'm like, oh, that's my dad for sure. But we grew up here, but we had a home in Idaho for a vacation home, and he would wear a cowboy hat there and such. Then she said, and he's talking about his aftershave. Well, that was so cool because when he passed, my mother gave me and my sister and whoever else wanted one 2 little cotton balls with my father's aftershave on it, and so we would sniff it, after he died. So I thought that was really, really pretty great, proof. But another time I was in a workshop, and this woman was studying to be a medium, and she was saying all this stuff, and I just didn't even get it. And she was talking about my dad so clearly, but it just went right over my head until 2 minutes after she stopped talking to me. And then I was like, oh, so you did great. Thank you for going first. Okay. So I think I'm over here with you two babes. So you have the sweater on and you have the striped shirt on. Okay. And so A, B, C, D, F, G, L, M, N, O, P. So large letter P is what I'm getting first of all. Okay. You're already shaking your head yes, right? So the idea here too is keep doing what you're doing, but you have your leg crossed and you're jiggling your leg. It's moving the energy because it's like, uh-oh, she's going to come to me next. I think you kind of knew that I was going over there. Did you? Did you have a feeling? Yeah, she's not going to even admit it, but okay. So what I have here is there's actually two people and they're holding hands. So in some way, shape, or form, they had a good relationship with each other and or they're presenting the two of you to be here tonight. One of them is showing me their head. So in their head, something has happened. When I get the head, it can mean physicality, like a stroke, my father fell, and had hemorrhage. It can mean mentality, a mental challenge. It can mean Alzheimer's, dementia, something along those lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. There's a number 6 as well that I'm getting, and 6 happens to be the month of June. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay. So tell me what you know so far. Look at that. Won't even make you work tonight. What do you know so far?
My husband died in June,
Okay.
and he had a
Yeah. A
brain-
tumor.
tumor.
Yeah. Do you feel comfortable coming up front? Okay, both of you?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So her husband passed in June, and he had a brain tumor. So that she's even walking is a miracle, okay? So have a seat wherever you
Well,
want.
not this June.
No,
but it
that's
was-
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay, whatever June it was. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, who's the P? Okay. All right, so put your microphone up if you don't mind, okay? Like, don't be shy with the mic because it's how everybody gets to, experience this. So who are you thinking the P is?
Peter,
And
but
who
it's
is
not him.
Peter, who is Peter?
He's a special man in my life now.
Yeah, gotcha. So Peter is a special man in her life now. What's the first thing I said to her? P, So I think your husband, he's your dad, who passed whenever he did in that June with the brain tumor, is very happy for the very special man that's in your life right now and giving you the kiss of approval, okay? Because we would think about that, we would worry about that, we would fret about it, and even with his kiss or seal of approval, you're still going to think about it more, but it's going to be a little easier. And you're going to run home and call Peter up. You're going to say, my husband said it's okay for me to date you, kind of a thing. Okay, and who's the large letter B name? B.
Oh, it's our last name.
Oh, that's your last name. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Now, I don't know anybody who's here. I don't know the list. I don't see anything. That's their last name. He's showing me that. Okay. Do you have a singing voice?
No.
Are you really bad?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So now remember, this is the dad. So the dad's talking about her singing voice. So I'm all excited. I'm going to go positive first. Oh, she has a good one. He's teasing you about that as well. Is there a pipe problem in your house right now? Yeah, okay. So there's a pipe problem in their house. See, this is him telling me that he sees it. So I love educating people. He's not saying in my head, well, hello, Cathy. Thank you for talking to my wife and my daughter. There's a pipe problem, and she has a new boyfriend. What I get is pipe. So I'm like, oh, pipe. I've been doing this for long enough. It's either a smoking pipe or it's a pipe problem. But then I saw the water, so I'm like, okay. So he's just showing you, I'm aware. Don't worry, he's not in your private business. Well, kind of, but not that. So the idea is he's just trying to say, oh my goodness, I see you now. I see you now. And you work things out, and you figure things out, and you've done a good job of it. 1, 2, 3. Is there the 3 you would understand? And what would that be?
There's 3 sisters.
3 sisters.
2 sisters.
Okay, hold up your mic there.
Sorry.
So is that just 3 kids or 3 sisters? 3
Yeah.
daughters. Okay, so those are his girls. Yeah, gotcha. So see, she's here, but he wants to acknowledge that there's 2 other children. So that's his way of saying it to me, okay? Now, if you went to another medium might say, are there 3 girls, or just daughters? It just comes into our heads the way anything would because we're all individual people. Okay. That song, Alouette, Gentille Alouette? That, when I get that means French, France, Canadian, French Canadian, or little kids who are being taught songs. Does that mean anything to you? Okay, nothing. So you'll remember that because everything else you've been like, boom, boom, boom. Just remember that. Okay, give me one more second with that though because he's trying to show me something. So you didn't travel to Canada. We don't have plans to go to Canada. Okay, relatives didn't come from that neck of the woods. Okay. Oh. Okay, he had the brain tumor, right? J'en peux m'aller la tête. Okay, that's the head. Did you know that that song is about plucking the feathers out of a bird before you cook it and eat it? Yeah, and it's a French song. Well, I won't tell you that, even though it's a library and there's good knowledge here. But anyway, it's possible. But we already know, he showed me his head, so we already know that. He's saying, in your lifetime, that was the most excruciating experience you will ever have. That was difficult, very severely difficult. No memory of that can be washed from your minds because you experienced it. But as time goes on, I see you're all getting better and better and better. But don't worry about trying to not think about it. That would be strange if you acted that way. So he's trying to tell you, because I'm not sure if it's you or one of your sisters or you, like you think about it and then you think you shouldn't be thinking about it. He's like, oh no, you're normal. Okay, you're normal. Okay, you get it? Understand? Okay. Does somebody read a book all the time? Yeah, put that microphone up to you. So you're the bookworm?
Me and my sister.
Okay. So I read a lot on my iPad, and I'm so proud to tell you this. So far this year, I've read 51 books, you know, and that's not counting the ones. So he's like telling me to tell you that. How many have you read?
74.
See? So you see?
Trying to get to 100.
It's not like I'm showing you to like show off. He doesn't make me do anything. They sort of just say, oh, tell her about the books. But they don't even say that. In my head, I sort of know I'm supposed to tell you about the books. You're going to keep reading, and so am I. You know? I'm like, okay, 52, that's 1 week. You know, so that's pretty good. Okay, so he really likes that about you. Do you know how many your sister has read?
80 something. She has a whole account.
Okay, so then that's the whole idea of him just saying, oh my goodness gracious. Does somebody love Tootsie Rolls? Yeah, who loves the Tootsie Rolls?
I do.
Mama loves them. Okay, gotcha. So it's kind of like, it's not like he's saying, here's a Tootsie Roll. He's just saying, how are those Tootsie Rolls? You know, kind of thing. Okay. And people sometimes ask me, what? Well, that's so random. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. You know, but maybe he showed me a Tootsie Roll, but maybe he showed me 2 or 3 other things, and maybe I couldn't get them, or maybe I missed them, or something like that. But I got a Tootsie Roll. It's pretty darn good, if I say so myself, because he's good as a communicator, and you're good as receiving the communication. So that's awesome. Okay, and then is there James, Jimmy, or Jim somewhere in the mix? Okay, remember I said that to you. Okay, if you don't get the next couple things, then we're moving on, but I don't think I'm done with you quite yet. James, Jimmy, or Jim, I think those are the only nicknames for James, right? So if I took away the Ames and the Immy and the M, is there a J.A. name? Who's the J.A. name?
Oh,
Oh,
was
you
gonna
have
say Jake.
Janet?
His sister Janet.
His sister Janet. She passed as well. Okay, and just give me your J.A.
Jake, our
Who's-
cousin.
Your cousin. It's the sister. Okay, so the J.A. I'm like, oh, J.A.
Oh, she was
James.
supposed to be Jimmy.
Oh my God, she was supposed to be called
Remember-
Jimmy
yeah.
because were they going to have a boy?
Yeah.
They thought they were. Okay, see, I mean this stuff makes me like a woo.
And she passed before him. She was younger and she passed before
Her sister-in-law, the sister of her husband, was supposed to be a boy. They were going to name him Jimmy, but instead they named him Janet. Then she passed before her brother, her husband, her father. So this is them saying, oh yeah, we're together, okay? So now I want you to go back 1 minute, because this stuff, oh, I love this work, you know? So I say, oh, if it's James, we might be moving on, but I don't think I'm done with you yet, you know? So then that's his way of holding me back, like, no, we got to get this. So I can't say that I have her here communicating with me. I have him telling us about her. Guess who I hang out with sometimes? They have a nice relationship. Yeah, I think probably they did hear, but they're showing you, oh yeah, it's really, the 2 fingers, like, you know what I'm saying, like close. Okay, 2 more things. 1, if you don't know that I will always, always have your back, even though I'm not in the physical, you just have to know that. So when you and your sisters are like having an issue or a problem, what I do is, this is what I do. I say, Dad, then there's a feeling I get. So he's sort of saying, Dad, I always have your back. So he probably couldn't move the iPad into your lap so you could read one of the books that I've read. By the way, they're on Libby, on the library app. But he might do something else, like flicker a light or just give you a feeling of warmth or goosebumps or whatever. So I think what he's trying to say is, just call upon me more often. I'll put a thought in your mind. I'm not going to change your mind, but maybe a little something there that you could like hold on to. And does somebody love oranges? Or is there an orange story?
I put an orange up my nose.
Okay, you put an orange up your nose.
Yeah.
A slice, I hope you're saying.
That little rind, that little star shaped at the
Oh,
bottom.
oh, you took that and stuffed it up your nose. Okay, gotcha. I think she really does need her father's help. I mean, come on. Of course you did that when you were quite young, right?
Yeah.
He and I had to take her to the hospital.
You had to go to the hospital and have it removed, and they had to pay a lot of money to get that out of your nose. Okay, so don't do that again, okay? But see, he's just bringing up something from the old days and all that. So here's the thing I'm going to tell you, too. When I was meditating, well, not meditating, listening to the music, and then I opened my eyes at one point, I'm like, oh, they are so. But he didn't want you to go first. So is this your first time doing something like this? Yeah, okay. So the idea was this beautiful lady took the energy hit so that you could just catch your breath. But I truly believe that he believes that you both knew that he would present tonight. Yeah. And while there are other people in this room who may be hoping or whatever, there's a feeling he's trying to say, oh no, you knew this was going to happen, right? Okay, gotcha. So what is your husband's name?
Dennis.
Dennis, okay. Okay. When did he pass? How long has he been in spirit?
7 years.
7 years. Okay, gotcha. And I'm just about to have us clap for Dennis. Is there something about 12? So that's December. Your boyfriend's name is Peter. How long have we
Right.
known? What?
We live at 12,
Oh.
the number house.
Oh, you live at 12 Number House. Is it the same house you lived at with him? Okay, gotcha. So now he's just showing off, okay? Kind of thing. Is Peter living at 12? Okay. Okay, that's better then. Okay, so get your pipes fixed. Enjoy your boyfriend, Peter. Do you like him? Is Peter a good guy? Yeah. It's tough though, right? It's really tough. And we're gonna clap for Dennis. Excellent, beautiful. Good job. You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Give the microphone to Susan. Okay. So don't y'all like have a collective when you see a husband who has passed and a dad, and as a medium, I have to, anybody doing this work has to, well, in so many of our jobs, we have to stay detached. Because 3 weeks ago, there was a beautiful woman in my office who had twins, and one went home and one died in the hospital. And then, oh my goodness, I could tell you so many stories of people who died by suicide. Today's Wednesday, right? So, it was yesterday. I don't even know time anymore. I joke and say, you should get in this head for 10 minutes, and you would run out screaming. But a woman, she was on a Zoom call with me, and this beautiful person in her life had taken his life, and he made me feel very, very strange in my throat and my upper chest. But he didn't give me the feeling that he took his life by strangulation, shall we say, hanging. I couldn't understand it. And then she explained to me that he had taken his life by using a knife to his throat. But I had never had that experience with spirit before, so the feeling I got, I couldn't describe. So we have to stay detached because the job is to help with the healing and make the connection and such. And he was really a beautiful soul because he was her son's best friend for many, many years. He was 28 years old, and life just got the best of him. And he just wanted to make sure that she understood that he took he understood what he had done, completely. In any case, my point is, I could be on the floor crying, for that. Okay, so now I think we're going, so I just met tonight April, who really, actually, you're still with me? Amy, I'm sorry, April. But there might be an April connection. See how this works? I met Amy just tonight, but she is originally the person who got this all together and connected me with Kara and such. So let me see what I have going on for you. So who are you with right there?
I'm with my boyfriend.
Okay.
And my friend Margot.
So your boyfriend Dave.
Yes.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Margot. Okay. So let's see what we have going on here. A, B, C, D, F, G, large letter G. Now, I do not let G stand for grandparent unless they're Grammy, Grampy, GG, something like that. So don't go thinking, oh, it's my grandmother, unless it turns out to be. Now, practicing chiropractic for all these years with all my patients, I'm very comfortable talking about body parts and touching myself. So something's going on in the chest. Okay, so there's somebody from Spirit, a female, and she's talking about the chest. And I believe she's talking about the breast tissue. Now, it doesn't have to mean that there was an issue. It could mean that she was rather buxom, kind of thing. Buxom is an old term. I don't usually say that. I would just say large-chested or whatever. 3, 4, 5. There's a 5 she's showing me. So this could be related to the month of May, possibly. Death, birth, or some other kind of thing there. And then she's giving me this little prickly feeling, like maybe she was older when she passed, because it's like I'm older now, and certainly I get some prickly feelings in my body. So I'm talking about maybe some little arthritides or little joint aches and pains and things of that nature. She does also show me some cloth. Now I'm going to call it material or fabric, but maybe she's got a lot of tablecloths, or maybe she's got a lot of bedspreads, or something like this, but she knows what to do with it. Okay, do you have any idea who I'm talking about? Margot?
No, go ahead, Margot. I don't know if it's my grandmother.
Okay. What do you understand?
She had breast cancer.
Yep.
She has a boxing
Yeah, I'm touching myself, yeah.
My brothers and I were together, and we were talking, she had lots of clothes in her house.
Okay,
And she did have tablecloths and things like that.
okay, gotcha. Do you understand any kind of a 5 with her?
I think maybe her birthday was in May, but not sure.
Okay. And Amy, what do you understand?
Well, my birthday is in May.
Yeah, okay.
And then my granny, Eileen, used to have a lot of tablecloths.
Okay.
And fabric, but nothing about
The breast and the chest.
nothing about the breast and the chest.
So it doesn't mean we don't have both of them. Okay? Hey, didn't I say there were 2 people and they were holding, the brother and the sister. So just then, okay, this is what just happened. I mean, I'm telling you, be in my head. Just then, all of a sudden, it was like, bink, your husband said, hey. And I'm like, oh, yeah, there were 2 people over there. Oh, yeah, because I said there could be both of them. Oh, yeah, I said to him, they were holding hands. Oh, yeah, my sister. Okay, but I forgot because I'm a little crazy when I do this work. I'm a little schizophrenic. Not really, but. So we could have both of them. So now you 2 get to duke it out, okay? So both of you come up here. Yeah, come on up. Is this a microphone for the video, for the Zoom?
No, that's a stand-up mic if you were on a podium. So
Oh,
just put it
but
up
who's
to
it
your mouth.
micing
Thank
right
you.
now? Okay. All right. So,
Okay.
like,
Yes, see,
I
that's
like
nice.
that one even better. It reminds me of Phil, what was his name, the talk show?
Donahue? Bill
Yes. Phil. Okay, but you can hear me well here, right? Okay. You like the other one? Let's see how this works. Okay. Now I'm getting a 3. So 3 is the month of March, but it could be that one of the grandmothers was passed 3 years ago. Not sure. Oh, this microphone. Here, give me that one. You talk into that one. Okay. How is this? Okay. All right. So, I think we have the 2 ladies here. We have you that has lots of clothing. What did you call your grandmother?
Grandma.
Grandma. So you both have the G's. Okay, gotcha.
Granny.
Granny and grandma. Okay. we had a Nana and a Nana, so we didn't have any G's. My mother is a Mimi, right? So this is what I'm talking about. Now, your grandmother had breast cancer, right? And she had a lot of clothes, so there was a lot of material and stuff, and you and your brother were just recently even talking about that, okay? Your grandmother did not have breast cancer. However, she had a lot of tablecloths or whatever all the cloth is kind of thing. Okay, A, B, C, D, large letter D. So who do we know in the family, or where would the D fit for either grandmother or even both? They're thinking, they're in their head. They can be deceased or they can be alive. Maiden name, nickname, okay, let it go, but remember that I said it, okay? Wait, what is your boyfriend's name again?
Dave.
Oh, he's Dave. Ah, there could be
Yeah, so
talk
Dave.
about Dave. Because I was going to say D.A., so I don't know what other name is Dave. What is another name with D.A. that's a man? I don't think, Dan, okay, but it could be about him, okay? How long you been together? Sorry, Dave.
A year.
Okay, gotcha. I think your grandmother thinks this is going well, okay? It's going well, okay? Yeah. And so it's kind of like it's going really well. She would not want you to be anything but very well paired, okay? She's like, she wants that for you, kind of a thing. So I don't know if that means she was together with somebody for a long time, or if there's some secret squirrel stuff that I'm not going to bring up in front of a room filled with people. Do you understand it?
No, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, gotcha. Now we all want to know. But we won't. Does one of the grandmothers, my grandmother used to iron all the time, and so what I'm seeing is a picture, it's live in my mind, but it's my grandmother ironing. So, I don't iron so much, I send it out, and I iron a little bit. My sister irons all the time, but my grandmother ironed a lot. Who's doing the ironing?
I do a lot of ironing.
You do, okay. So then she might be saying, oh, a girl after my own heart, or like, that's the way you should do it, and all that, okay. I just saw, well, it's Halloween, it's fall and all that, but I just did see a reference to pumpkin. And I don't know if it's bread, I don't know if it's pies, I don't know, but it's like something big about the pumpkin. Now, you could say somebody smashed one in my driveway last night. Of course, it's Halloween time, but I'm seeing that. I could see a pumpkin in July, too. What do you know about that, either of you? Margot?
I just stuck one of my kids in a pumpkin for a picture.
Okay, so you put your kid inside of a pumpkin. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so see, grandmother is like that. That's my girl, kind of thing. You're ironing your clothes, she's sticking a kid in a pumpkin, and that's the way it is because they like you to see. They like you see that. Is your grandmother that we're talking with here, communicating with? Is she on the mother side of the family?
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha. She's talking about your hair,
Yep.
and so this is a trait. And she's like, you gotta love her hair. And if we took one and pulled it, it would be down to your buttocks, not really that long. But so does she have the curly hair too?
She has some curly hair. My dad had
Okay.
curly hair too.
Okay, this is like a trait, she's saying, like everybody in the family like has this really good head of hair. Also tomatoes.
I live in the house that she lives in, and I have had tomatoes this year and last year.
Okay, beautiful. So this is maybe the first and last year that you grew tomatoes, and you're in her house. This is
Yeah.
like amazing. Okay, so I think she really likes that. I don't know if she grew tomatoes years ago, but she sees you growing tomatoes, so she likes that. Okay, and then is there a T name? Is there a Tom or a Tommy? And,
Tommy, my brother.
oh, Tommy, your brother. Okay, now you're sitting here. You said it's Margot, right?
Yeah.
So Margot, you're sitting here.
Yep.
But he isn't.
Yep.
Is he like some special grandchild?
Tommy had Down syndrome and passed away.
Yeah,
years
he
ago.
is a special grandchild.
Mm-hmm.
He is very special because he is Tommy. He's special because he brought a different light to this world, and he's special because he's with her, that kind of thing. So you see, I want to show you this. I didn't know that Tommy was in spirit because her grandmother is communicating with me about Tommy. So if you spoke to me, you're here. But if a voice came over the loudspeaker, I'd say, where is it? Where, get it?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I don't know, but that's her way of showing you. And when we die, we supposedly, this is what we think, we hang on to our memories and our loves and our connections until they're not needed anymore. Like, I would be hard pressed to think that my great grandparents, who nobody here really knows, would be presenting, I wouldn't be able to validate them. But the idea here is that when we pass to spirit, we let go. We don't bring our hair. We don't bring our, boots. We don't bring our money. We don't bring our ego. We don't bring our Down syndrome. We don't bring our breast cancer. However this happens. And like I said before, I'm very interested to know, but not yet, right? So anyway, she's just letting you know all is well there, no more Down syndrome. So that spiritual being that played the role of Tommy is now released from that. But it doesn't mean when you croak in 100 years that you might not see Tommy as your Down syndrome, he was your brother or your cousin?
Brother.
Your brother, gotcha. So he's totally fine.
Yep.
I think you already knew that a long time ago, but she's just telling you kind of thing. Okay. And then is there